The judge will be back in just a second. She should be coming back on. Oh, there she is.
Been here since 12:55. All right, good afternoon. This is DeKalb County State Court. I'm Judge Dallas. I'll be hearing these matters set down on this 7th day of July, 2025. All right, so this is your first appearance here. And what that means is this one, I tell you what you're charged with and what your
This
bond,
meeting is being recorded.
what the bond is for each one of your charges. Now, I'm not here to try your case. I'm not here to take a plea. I'm not here to hear a whole lot of explanation as to what happened. It's simply for me to let you know what your rights are and what the bond is for each one of your charges. Now, you do have a right to have an attorney represent you. If you cannot afford to hire your own attorney, then you can certainly ask for an attorney, and an attorney will be appointed to represent you. The way that this goes is you have a right to a speedy and public trial by jury. You have a right for the state to have to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You have a right to see, hear, and cross-examine any witnesses that are called to testify against you. You also have the right, if you choose, to bring witnesses for your own defense. If you decide you want to take the stand and testify, you can certainly do that. If you decide you don't want to incriminate yourself, you have a right to not incriminate yourself. All right? So at this time, I'm going to call everyone up individually. And as I call you, anybody just step to the podium and I'll let you know what the basis is for each one of your charges, what the bond is for each one of those charges. Let me start with Cameron Fort.
Come on up.
All right, Mr. Ford, it's indicated that on July the 6th at 2025 at 2:28, you were on Covington Highway 54, the 5400 block of Covington Highway. Officer Hightower indicated that he saw you first drive failure to maintain lane in violation of code section 40-6-48. That's in DeKalb County, of course. He then said he noted that you were under the influence of alcohol in violation of 40-6-391. He also said that you had a hit and run, that you failed to stop and render aid. He indicated that you were driving under the influence of alcohol. It resulted in a four-car accident with injuries. You left the scene, he said, but you returned later. All right, sir. I noted that with your history, you do have a previous DUI. It's not in the last 5 years, but it is a previous DUI. So your bond on the DUI is $2,000. Your bond on the failure to maintain lane is $500, and the bond on the hit and run is $1,000. Your total bond is $3,500. All right.
Yes. We say it's about the hit and run. I never left the scene.
Excuse me?
I never left the scene.
So that's why I don't want you to don't say too much about what your defense is. You'll have an attorney who will be able to represent you. All right, sir? All right, so the next person is 𝗗𝗲𝗄𝗆, I believe it's pronounced P-O-R-C-H-E-A. All right, Ms. Porche, so you're being accused on July 6th of 2025 at 3:34 a.m. of being at Scott Boulevard and Pine Tree Drive, and you have Officer Freeman from the DeKalb County, Georgia State Patrol, rather, who noted that you were traveling 55 and a 35. That was in excess of the maximum speed. That's in violation of 40-6-181. He also noted that you were under the influence of alcohol in violation of 40-6-391A1. It says 1 through 5. This is your first DUI that we can see, Ms. Porche, which is why your bond is not going to be as high as the others. The bond on the DUI is $1,000 and the bond on the speeding is $500. It's a total of $1,500 bond. Aaron Dorsey. All right, Mr. Dorsey, You're accused that on July 6th of 2025 at 4:32 a.m. that you were on Flat Shoals Parkway at Columbia Drive, which is in the DeKalb County. Officer Stewart indicated that you failed to yield entering the roadway, that basically you caused an accident by entering the road from a private drive. And then he also indicated that that would have been in violation of 40-6-73. On that same date and time in the same location, Officer Stewart also charged you with a DUI and less safe, and that you failed the field sobriety. And that's what's written on his tickets. There's nothing else in terms of which particular field sobriety evaluations he gave you. Mr. Dorsey, I don't see that you have a significant history. Let me make sure I got you right. Yes, so you see the Tennessee, you see that you have a Tennessee license or history. You do have some stop signs, you have some basic traffic violations. I don't see a DUI, Mr. Dorsey, but between now and when you get back to court, if there's anything that the prosecutor can find, they'll certainly amend your history. The concern is that you have a couple of FTAs, one from 2017 and one from 2020. It appears to be your first DUI, Mr. Dorsey. So the bond on the failure to yield is 500. The bond on the DUI is going to be 1,250. And the reason I went up to that point is because there's a couple of times where you allegedly didn't appear in court. So that's always a concern to judges, that if you have someone who doesn't appear, it makes you feel that perhaps they will not appear coming up. So your total bond is $1,750. No, sir, here's the thing. You don't want to say a whole lot because you don't have an attorney representing you. That's all we're looking at is what's on your history. And sometimes it's difficult to determine exactly the accuracy of what somebody has on an out-of-state driving history. We don't have the ability to look at it in depth like we will if you had a Georgia history, sir. And then Evan McNair. So Evan McNair. Hold on one second. Let me find yours. Okay. Sir, on July 6th of 2025 at 12:13 p.m., you were at Cedar Grove Road and Moreland Avenue, which is in DeKalb County. Officer 𝗗𝗲𝗄𝗏 indicated that you, first he charged you with a DUI, in violation of 46-391-84. He basically said you admitted to using cocaine and that he did some HGN, some field sobriety evaluations, and determined that you were under the influence of something. He didn't really put down exactly what you were under the influence, but he did say that you admitted to using cocaine. And that's why you're charged with the A4, because that's the DUI that deals with combination of alcohol or drugs. So that's the one charge you have, sir. The other charge you have is that you parked within a straight travel lane at Cedar Grove Road and Moreland Avenue, that you were facing west, and that's in violation of 40-6-203. Mr. McNair, the concern that I have is that we have no driving history for you. So we don't know if you've ever had a DUI. We can't find a driving history search for someone to have lived as long as you have. There's a driving history from some other state or somewhere. I could obviously and actually not give you a bond at all, because with no driving history, that's a concern, because the bond is typically based on any previous driving history you have. Having said that, I'm gonna give you a $2,000 bond on the DUI, and I'm gonna give you a $500 bond on prohibited stopping, sir. Your total bond is $2,500. All right. And the last person that I have is 𝗖𝗔𝗠𝗣𝗯. All right, 𝗖𝗔𝗠𝗣𝗯. So 𝗖𝗔𝗠𝗣𝗯, you're accused on July 6th of 2025 at 12:01 p.m. of being at I-20 westbound at Canlon Road, mile marker 65, and Officer Salazar indicated that you were driving 91 miles per hour in a 55-mile-per-hour zone. Certainly that's speeding and violation of 46-181, which is interesting because you have a whole suspended license, sir. So your suspended license, you're driving with a suspended license and speeding on the expressway. The suspended license by code section is 40-5-121. Sir, your bond is 750 on the speeding and 750 on the suspended license. Your total bond is $1,500. It looks like your failure to appear in Henry County is the reason why your license was suspended. The officer indicated that your license has been suspended over a year. All right, thank you. That's all I have.
The recording has stopped.